Do you like God, Matt?
Oh, you came out swinging, didn't you?
It's Jesus January!
Woo!
Get ready to pray and party with us.
Time to fire up the VCR. This one's my favorite.
Welcome to Analog Jones and the Temple of Film. I'm Steve.
Oh, and I'm not ready for this. My name is Matt, and we are talking about my least favorite thing in the world, Christianity, this week.
Oh, I love Christian films. The bad ones are my favorite, but we'll revisit those later. Now we're doing some fluff pieces.
Yes, so we start off, we're doing 2 tapes because they are short, because they're low budget and shitty, because they're religious. So we've got 2. We've got VeggieTales, Are You My Neighbor? And later we'll be talking about Sing, Stretch, and Play.
With Mom and Dad.
So should we just jump right into VeggieTales here?
Let's do it. This company is called, what is it, Big Idea?
Big Idea is the company behind it.
They don't have many because they're just using Bible stories.
Yeah, right. Well, they have big ideas in the sense that they want to tell a 4-minute story in 30 minutes, and they are stretching. So I'll talk about the tape, I guess, here. Both of these were found at a thrift store. We were out looking for material to talk about. We have plenty, but, we just needed more. And happened upon a whole trunk of religious tapes, and we had to break these out as soon as possible.
A quarter apiece.
A quarter apiece, and the first one we're talking about is, of course, VeggieTales. So let me tell you about the artwork that we're looking at here. So it's Big Ideas Productions presents VeggieTales. This is from 1995. It has 2 pairs in a spaceship, and Are You My Neighbor is the title in the most 90s font I have ever seen in my life.
It's AOL gross.
Yes, and we have our lead veggies, which are the tomato, the broccoli, and the cucumber. But only the cucumber is looking at us.
Yeah,
the others, we are looking at their butts.
No kidding. So the cucumber's name is Larry, right?
Yes.
And the tomato is Bob?
Yeah.
Does anyone remember the broccoli's name?
Junior.
Oh, you do?
Because I just watched this yesterday, and it's my new favorite film of all time.
He's lying.
So
you've already sinned on this podcast.
There's plenty more to come. So we're looking at space here. They're looking at space, and that's sort of our main thing that the image is taking up, with the spaceships not looking like much here, just sort of over the pairs that are floating. I don't really know what I'm looking at here on this cover.
I don't know. I don't know what I watched.
on the sides of this here, it says ages 3 and up. We fall in that age group.
We just made
it. All the information on the movie is on the side for some reason, so we know it's running time of 30 minutes. We have all the different production companies, which is Visual Audio Word, Everland Entertainment. This is episode 3, apparently.
There is so much crap on this.
Yeah, it's mono compatible, it's stereo, it's Dolby system compatible. If you needed to surround your hi-fi VHS.
You needed to surround yourself with 5th grade sounds.
Big Idea Entertainment. It says that this includes, on the back here, I've now flipped over the tape, it says it includes a bonus feature, Silly Songs with Larry. It's not a bonus feature. It's in the middle of the fucking episode. It's not a bonus feature. There's nothing after the movie. It's in the middle of the episode, so they're just trying to cheat us. Here's some of the reviews for this.
Ooh.
Before we tell you what we thought of it. The most innovative and imaginative Christian series, Billboard Magazine. If you haven't jumped on the VeggieTales bandwagon yet, it's time to catch up. Bookstore Journal.
What? Who's Bookstore Journal?
I imagine it is like a literal like ordering pamphlet that they send out to bookstores, and they're like, you got to get in on this Christian craze because these fucking badly animated vegetables are making tons of money.
And they're still going to today.
So let me read you this obnoxiously long description of the episode that we have here.
All right, I'm gonna sit back and
fall asleep,
take a nap.
That's what I wanted to do this entire episode. Bob the Tomato and Larry the Cucumber are back with 2 new stories filled with songs, laughs, and solid biblical values that have made VeggieTales the choice of critics and kids alike. The story of Flibber-O-Loo. Big Ideas critically acclaimed writing and animation bring the parable of the Good Samaritan to life in this delightful storybook adaptation of the biblical tale. Through rhyme and song, children learn that loving your neighbor means helping those in need, even if they don't live next door. Okay.
Oh, all right.
And then the second one, this is actually a pretty funny title. The Gourds Must Be Crazy.
Yeah.
It's pretty good. Props there. Join 5-year-old Junior Asparagus and the crew of the USS Apple Pies as they boldly go where no vegetable has gone before. This one was very Star Trek-y. I'm surprised they didn't get sued. I hope they got sued. Can Junior and the ship's engineer Scooter repair apple pies before a giant meteor smashes it to bits? And what about the oddball crew members? Jimmy and Jerry Gourd? Could they possibly help? This hilarious sci-fi spoof shows kids that loving your neighbor means appreciating those who are different instead of making fun. So we see the Gourds and a picture on the back with the expression that I had on my face the entire time watching this.
Just a flat.
Just the flat indifference. We see our whole crew of the Tomato, the Cucumber, Junior, and then some fucking old guy that I don't even remember from that episode at all.
There's most of this I don't remember.
We get another image of Junior and the injured Larry the Cucumber from the Good Samaritan story. I don't even know what the fuck I'm looking at in this top image. Could you tell me?
Are those asparagus stalks? Because I remember that.
Maybe?
Yeah, they're just green sticks.
Green, badly animation sticks with eyes.
It's like, we've got to fill this up. Oh, how about all those old models of asparagus we got in the back? Okay.
Yeah. So that's our tape. And as we put it in and get to our feature presentation here, there's no trailers.
Nope.
Even funnier, I don't know if you had this experience when you watched it. The sound comes... He's in the middle of saying Larry, and it starts... it cuts in wrong. Like, it doesn't cut in at the right part.
So I burnt these onto my computer from VHS. So we could get sounds and everything, pull some of it. I did this 3 times, started, and I'm like, oh, something's wrong with this.
It goes from black to airy.
I was like,
are you ready? And it's like, the editors weren't ready.
I remember next to nothing about the Good Samaritan. I remember the Gourds Must Be Crazy, quite a bit of it. But man, the Good Samaritan, it is gone.
Okay, so I would venture to say some of the writing isn't bad. It's good for kids. Like, if you take the Christy, cult-like stuff that's in here out of it, because it's not subtly Christian like some things are. It is beat you over the fucking head Christian. And if you take all that creepiness out, the writing isn't terrible. But what they do that makes this episode or this portion of the episode so unmemorable is this should be a 2-minute story that they have stretched to 15.
Yeah, be good to your neighbors, even if they're different. I would say this is 5 minutes.
Yeah.
At max. And, it's so boring because it's filled with nothing. The vegetables are just sitting there, blinking at you. Like,
yeah, they
really?
don't really move. They just sort of get, clicked and dragged around.
Yeah.
They don't really, do anything. And then, their eyes blink sometimes.
Some god-awful moments of just sitting through your... what are we doing here? Let's move this along.
And I don't know why they made this choice for this story because the other story doesn't do it, but every line rhymes.
I noticed that, yeah.
Which must have been really hard to write, which is probably why I'm giving the writing some props here. That must have been really hard to do, but after a while you become so numb and annoyed to it. I feel like I kept my phone away from it because I knew I would get distracted. I was glued to the screen, but nothing was going in my head. It was just I'm watching this, but it's not sticking.
Yeah, I think my brain refused to press record to capture any of this in my memory.
Right.
It's just no.
Even funnier, I had to play this on like my spare VCR. My main VCR, which is like a good one, it's in good shape, wouldn't take this tape. Every time I would put it in, it would eject it. And I was like, the Lord is giving me a sign.
That's amazing.
So I had to put it in kind of my burner VHS player, and it worked fine there. But like, my good one was like, we're not doing this. There's no way we're doing this. It ate up Sing, Stretch, and Play, but it was not having VeggieTales. It was like, nope.
So should we just go right on to our bonus air quotes here that was right in the middle?
We can probably just skip ahead to the silly songs with Larry, which isn't a bonus feature, it's just the middle of the episode. He sings a song, he's Larry the Cucumber, and he sings a song about needing a hairbrush.
Yeah, so they must have known really early in this that Larry was their boy that's going to be famous.
They're pushing Larry as the star, and I think animation-wise, I was most interested in the tomato. I thought he looked like the most interesting character, and for some reason they're pushing the cucumber, which is the most generic-looking of the characters. Maybe he was the cheapest to animate, probably.
Probably, yeah. Was it something about a comb, right?
He's looking for his hairbrush, and he like gets out of the shower, and he's like, "Where's my hairbrush? Where's my hairbrush?" And then he sings a whole song about it, and he finds out his neighbor gave the hairbrush to another neighbor who's a peach, because peaches have hair, but cucumbers don't even have hair, so he doesn't need it anyway. Which is kind of fucked up. Like, I get they're trying to say, like, give your stuff to people who need it. You don't need it. Give away your stuff to... But, like, the neighbor takes it from him and is like, no, they need it more. And if that's not the definition of Christianity, I don't know what the fuck is.
Ooh. Deep thoughts.
Yeah, so the neighbor gives it to the peach, and the peach is like, thank you. And the whole time, the cucumber is singing a song. He's like, oh, he needs it more. I'll give it to him. But I got the feeling that he was like, fuck, that's like my hairbrush, though. Like, don't take my shit.
It's mine. Now, why doesn't the broccoli have a hairbrush? Wouldn't that be the one that really needs the hair?
Yeah.
I mean, I get the peach with fuzz. I get it.
Yeah. But I don't know.
Or wait, is broccoli even in this? Or because
he's not in the song. He's
No,
in
he's
the
not in the
two.
song,
He's
yeah.
in the two stories, but he's not in the song.
Okay, so we go on to Gourds Must Be Crazy. It's much better, in my opinion. You get some sci-fi in it. It's something for the kids to look at. And yes, it was very much Star Trek.
Yeah, like the pie shape spaceship is like the Enterprise, and I was like, man, I hope they got sued for this, because this is spot on. And like,
do you really want to sue like a little company like this that's doing Christian stuff? I was like, what are you gonna get from them? But I know what you mean.
Satisfaction. Yeah, this one I agree is more, and the message I think is good, because it's not an overly religious message. It's just like, oh, your neighbor's different from you, but you should still be nice to him, and maybe you'll learn something from him. Which I think is more of a universal nice thing and not necessarily a religious thing.
No, it's only Christians.
Only Christians do that? Well, they don't even do that, because they were like, oh, the Spanish kid Fernando just moved in, and he talks funny. But, like, the dad is being like, oh, no, he talks funny, but he might teach you something about his culture and where he came from and stuff like that. You should be friends with him. But nowadays, Christians are like, they talk funny, let's fucking kill them. Like,
build a wall.
So, I mean, I think we should show this to some evangelical Trumper Christians and be like, hey guys.
So, what I thought was funny in this is it's asparagus and a bunch of the vegetables. Did you notice they're entering the USS apple pies? And I was like, apples are fruits. So I thought that was like, I don't know.
Fruity Tales had a different that one didn't go over as
Fruity
well.
Tales didn't work out. So the aliens were the Gourds.
Right.
And then I just remember them basically saying like, oh, love your neighbor, the end. That's kind of what I remember about this.
Yeah, they were like, the Gourds are weird because they eat a lot, but then the meteor is made out of food, so they're like, oh, these guys that eat a lot, they can actually help us. Let's not think they're weird. Let's be nice to them. So they're basically saying, if you can use somebody for their differences, make sure to take advantage of them.
I will be nice to you if you're useful.
Right, then that's the only way. Yeah, And then after that episode ends, it's basically credits. There's no real wraparound. It's just like Bob the Tomato and Larry the Cucumber, like, we have 2 stories for you. Here you go.
Yeah.
And then the stories run. And then after Gorge Must Be Crazy, we get credits. That's it. And this tape, like, it's short, but it's too long still.
30 minutes felt like 45.
So I think if you see this one in the store, 2 things. You're going to see this cover and be like, I don't know what I'm looking at. So you're probably going to pass it up anyway. But if you realize what it is and you see it at, like, the thrift store, I say pass.
I say run away. Or hide that thing so no one else has to suffer through it.
Right. Yeah. If you come across this particular VeggieTales tape, skip.
Done. All right, we'll come right back with Sing, Stretch, and Play with Mom and Dad.
Yes.
And now it's time for Silly Songs with Larry, the part of the show where Larry comes out and sings a silly song. Our curtain opens as Larry, having just finished his morning bath, is searching for his hairbrush. Having no success, Larry cries out,
Oh, where is my hairbrush? Oh, where is my hairbrush? Oh, where, 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 oh, where is my hairbrush?
We're going in to the movie of the hour. The greatest thing I've watched since anything.
This is the best tape I've ever seen that we're allowed to talk about here.
Woo! I love this, even from the beginning. But I guess I'll break down.
Yeah, break down
Yes.
break down the tape here for us.
This front is just jam packed with funky fonts.
Yeah.
Kids jumping, amazing 90s sweaters.
Yes.
And then we got developing the whole child, mind, body, and soul.
Yes.
And it's delightful to look at because it's just garbage everywhere. I love it.
Yeah, the kids are like, I don't know what they're looking at. I don't know what the adults are necessarily looking at either. And they're sort of like, they're not stretching, they're just like lifting their arms.
They're jumping. I don't know if you know.
Oh, yeah, some of them
they're
are jumping in the air. Others are like not.
And it's so much nonsense all over this VHS tape. You go to the side, filled with, I would say right there, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 different types of seven different types of fonts.
Boom.
I mean, that's hard to do.
We get a new image that we haven't seen of the kid and the mom.
I don't know what. The kid is sitting on the mom's lap. Okay. And then they've got tennis shoes on there. I'm assuming, remember kids, wear your tennis shoes when you exercise.
Right. Is it the same thing on the other side too, on the other spine?
It's just the dad about to body slam a kid. Look at
Pile
that.
driver.
Like, ooh, that looks violent. Yes.
That's
so
funny.
Then we move to the back, and we have a number of production stills here. We've got the lead mom, who's running to the font of the description of this film. I don't know. We've got another picture of her right below it where she's praising the Lord.
Yes. We get the Last Supper picture here.
Yes. Oh, wow. That's creepy. At the bottom, we have the kids playing, and then the bottom left, I forgot they use exercise balls all throughout this to move around.
Yeah.
Do you remember when they're hopping on them?
Yeah, like they're sitting on them and like hopping on them, and
Yeah.
I'm like worried that the dad's is gonna explode underneath him.
Yeah, the dad's a little big. He needs to...
That ball's not that big either.
Yeah. Let me get into the wonderful description on this. You don't have to be a kid to love singing, stretching, and playing along with this unique exercise video. A great way to draw closer as a family. Stretch, sing, and play develops healthy bodies as well as healthy relationships between you and your child through easy exercises. Sing along with Bible songs and fun games. Loaded with lots of hugs and giggles, this special video will bring laughter and love into your home.
Yay!
And Satan!
And a little bit of the Lord, too.
So, let's see here. We got Sing, Stretch, and Play is hosted by Trisha Blair, a nationally certified ACE and AFAA aerobics and fitness instructor, as well as a licensed early childhood educator with 10 years experience in developing young bodies and minds.
Nice.
So, okay. It's got some warnings on here. I see down below it's before beginning exercise, consult a physician, and remember to stretch. So, when you buy this video, everyone, before you play, go to your doctor and ask him if it's cool to, 1, praise the Lord, and 2, stretch and play.
Yes.
Don't forget you're going to sing, but I think everyone's good with that.
Yeah, I think everybody's good with singing about the Lord.
Did you notice in this, none of them are actually singing? They're all just lipping it?
Yes.
Yes. Yeah.
It is all pre-records.
So, it's great. Executive produced by Ricky Blair. Oh, I guess that's Trisha's husband.
Must be.
We got produced by David Binware Productions in association with Brentwood Music, directed by Clark Santee, and hosted by Trisha Blair. Running time, 30 minutes.
Yeah, they had to put all that information on there for some reason.
The back of this video, no shit, is just so much shit on it.
It's jam-packed with stuff. Well, you were even saying on the front, too, you didn't even know the full title was Sing, Stretch, and Play with Mom and Dad because With Mom and Dad are so far from the title.
They're not below it. They're to the left and the right. So whoever did this has no idea what they're doing with... There's way too many fonts, too. No idea what they're doing with hierarchy, and the font play is insane.
If I'm reading this from left to right, I'm going to think the title is With Mom, Sing, Stretch, and Play, and Dad.
Yeah, good point. So, let's start breaking down what we watched on this thing.
Let's pop this tape in. And before we get to the amazingness that is this video, we have to talk about the amazing trailers that are on the beginning of this.
Yes, so we had the Brentwood Kids Company promo. The kids sing praise, kids singing Bible songs.
Yes, this looks horrifying.
Yes.
This is like Jesus Camp, like, but what they like show at Jesus Camp.
Yes.
Like, it is kids running around like outside singing. I want to say almost as if they're being tortured as they're singing them, like singing Jesus songs, but they just sound so scared.
One of them looks at the camera for 1 second, and I swear it like froze in my brain. He's like, "Save me!" Oh, indoctrinating our kids.
Yeah,
So
indoctrination. That starting it early.
our second trailer is one I would actually love to find this video. Is Mother Goose Goes to School, Learning with God.
Yeah, at first you're like, oh, this one's not a Jesus-y one, and then it's like, whoa, this one's super Jesus-y.
But with a cute duck.
Yeah.
Or goose.
It's just the goose, and then it's like, and Tony the chef. Like,
yeah, that was weird. And the big yellow bus.
yeah.
Like, what?
And the big yellow bus is just like a piece of cardboard, and like Tony the chef is just like a guy with a fake mustache on.
So shouldn't it be Mother Goose Goes to like Sunday school?
Yeah.
But it's just going to school. Is that to like trick people?
Probably.
Okay.
And this one even says, buy at your local Christian bookstores.
Yes.
I remember when those were things.
Mm-hmm.
They're not anymore.
No, they're dead.
They're gone now. But I remember like the Christian bookstores. There was one next to my Blockbuster. Lasted longer than the Blockbuster did over it.
Wow, that tells you a lot.
But it is now gone.
Well, I'm thinking there's like Christian or Jesus like streaming service you can get.
Maybe.
I think I've seen something like that. So I could imagine they're all going straight to that. You save a lot of money with distribution, and they just plug them into that.
Before I guess we start breaking this down, I'll just say both of these things. I've just noticed anytime there is like these Christian, overtly religious things, they're always super low budget and terribly made. You never see one of these like Christian videos or movies, even like if you think about the ones that are still coming out in theaters, like God's Not Dead and stuff like that. They're never well made. And I think that speaks volumes right there.
Well, I think what it has to do with is Pure Flicks, which you're talking about with God's Not Dead and God's Not Dead 2. People involved with it's sporadic. Some of them are film professionals. You know, they go into it, they know what they're doing. But a lot of the decision makers and everything like that, they're not.
Yeah. They're not film people.
It's very unbalanced. That's why you get these crazy ones. Now, if I could get any of these Pure Flicks on VHS, we would do it. But...
Would we?
Oh yes, I would make you. They're awful.
Yeah.
They are some of the... They're mean. See, with these Christian films, they're kind-hearted. I think these people were trying to do something really nice, getting kids into Christianity, because that's what they believe is the right thing. Whatever. That's fine with your beliefs. Those ones, the Pure Flicks, those are nasty. And those are the ones I love, because they're so blatantly mean. They're so blatantly mean to anyone who's different. While these are like telling you, if you're different, it's okay.
Yeah, but also this was the 90s. I think things are different now. Everything's inclusive. If you're not, it's not just Christianity. I think it's just with everything nowadays. In the 90s, we're more accepting. Now everybody's in their own bubble, so.
It's definitely just an echo chamber, as they call it.
Yes.
Yeah. Remember, now the warning, the like minute-long warning.
Yeah, that's like a Star Wars scroll at the beginning.
Remember to stretch. Just to love the warning. It was telling you to see a doctor.
Yeah, it's the same warning I think is on the back here. Like, they're not responsible for any injuries. Nope. Move your furniture.
Yeah.
Ask your mom and dad if it's okay. Consult your physician to see if you're able to work out.
Yeah, the lawyers like get all this on here at the beginning. We're not going down.
Right, we're not going down like that.
Brentwood Kids is going to live forever.
Didn't. Let's get into the movie. Let's get into it now.
Let's go. My first note. My God, the sweaters!
They're all in oversized sweaters except for the dad who was in a snug sweater.
He was. I was like, why did you give the dad what looks to be a smaller size than like Trisha Blair's?
Yeah. Yes.
What?
So it's the way they do it is Trisha Blair's the host. She comes out, she introduces that this is going to be Sing, Stretch, and Play, and we're going to play together. Then we get introduced to it's a kid with their parent.
Yes.
So we see there's the little blonde kid who's with his mom. There's the little redhead girl who's with her dad. There is the psychopathic girl in the orange that is with her aunt, I think they say.
I don't think she ever blinks.
She is nuts, this one. And then the nerdy glasses kid
with the mullet
with his mom, whose mom seems really sweet to him, and that's probably why he's a nerd. I'm so mean today. Put a little Christ in me and I get fiery. That's sort of how it breaks down, and then they get into it.
Yeah, the first song we have here is Hug and Sing Along, La La Lou.
I was like, man, this video is pretty silly. And then it starts with Hallelujah is like the first thing they say in this hugging song. And I was just like, this is the fucking greatest thing I've ever seen.
Yeah, when we watched this together, we watched probably the first 10 minutes, and it's just like, I cannot wait to do this. La la Lou, hug with me.
Yeah.
Love it. Love it.
Yes, they start as soon as it starts. As soon as it starts with Hallelujah, and they all start like dancing in a circle. And I was like, "This is some cult shit. Like this is great."
Oh, it gets better because the second song we go into when they start using the balls to stretch and everything like that. And I think is this the one they sit on? They sit on. The
no,
balls
they do the overhead first, like standing before they sit down.
This is the day that the Lord has made. We will be loud, glad. This is the day He made. Rejoice.
Yes. In an exercise video.
Yeah.
Whoever thought of this is a fucking genius. So they're lifting balls over their head and singing, mouthing along to a pre-record of this song.
Yeah, this is the one where I definitely noticed that it was pre-record because some of the kids are just mouthing along and they're just trying to guess the words.
Yeah, they don't know what the words are. They prepared Trisha Blair for all this. None of the kids know anything that's about to happen next. Like, they are constantly on their toes being like, what's this bitch gonna do now?
Third song was Jesus Loves Me, and I was like, oh, I've heard this one before. I wasn't as excited.
Yeah, no, I've heard this one. It is like the modern 90s pop version of it.
Yeah.
They give a little synth in it, but yeah, I was like, I've heard this. Like, give me something new. But what's the fourth song?
The fourth song is the greatest song ever written in the history of Jesus kind. It is, and I wrote down the lyrics here, my friends. It's titled, Who is the King? Who is the king of the jungle? Who is the king of the sea? Bobble, bobble, bobble. Who is the king of the universe? Who is the king of me? I'll tell you, Jesus. Yes! He is the king of me. He is the king of the universe, the jungle, the sea, and me. Bobble, 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 bobble. I love it.
This is real. This exists. This is something that is you can watch with your eyes. This really exists.
Oh my gosh, it's spectacular. I have been walking around singing this song.
I just want to like pass you on the street randomly while you're just like, who is the king of the jungle?
Who is the king of the sea? Do, 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 do. My favorite part is bobble, 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 bobble.
Like, this song does very easily get stuck in your head, but like also then yeah, you don't even realize you're singing it in public, and you look like a sociopath when you do. Like this is amazing.
Yeah,
this is the best thing.
That is the climax of the movie, and we're only 13 minutes in.
I mean, just when you think it cannot get any better, they do give you more songs, and it doesn't necessarily get better, but one of the things I love about this is probably 20 minutes of it is exercise, and the last 10 minutes they're just like, let's sing some Christ songs. And then they just go through like a medley of like church songs.
I've heard a few of them. I didn't really write down the lyrics on these because I was just like, I was enthralled. I could not stop staring at the screen. And this is a 30-minute film that felt like 15 because it was flying.
Oh, I needed more of this. It was so good. They would in between some of like the exercises, like, yeah, they're doing these songs or whatever, but yeah, you're doing things like where you sit on the ball, or like you're stretching or dancing or doing like the stop and freeze games or whatever. But in between all of these things, they would take Bible breaks.
Yes.
Where they would talk about a verse of the Bible.
Yeah, here we go. I'm going to pull one for you right here.
While we're resting here, I want to share a Bible verse with you. And that is Ephesians 6:1. And it says, "Children, obey your parents in the Lord, for this is right." Can you say that with me? Children, obey your parents in the Lord, for this is right. Now, you know what that means? That means that when our mommies or our daddies tell us to do something, we need to stop or freeze, listen to what they say, and then do it. That's exactly right.
This is straight out of my church, my Sunday school. I remember this stuff.
I think the reason I'm so venomous and so against this, I did 9 years of Catholic school.
Oh, yeah. Yeah,
and
you told me.
And that is why I am no longer religious. I did 9 years of Catholic school, and this is like a fucking nightmare day to day. Like, this is what like gym class was like.
So you had a pretty intense Catholic bringing up.
I mean, at school, like, luckily my family and social life I wasn't one of those kids that had to go to like church all the time and stuff like that. But school. This was what it was like. Right. We had history, English, science, and religion was like a class.
My parents were, or at least my mom's side of the family, was Pentecostal. I used to go to that Sunday school for a while and then eventually left because one of the people told me there that dinosaurs were only 4,000 years old, and you were telling a young kid who was a nerd walking around reading about dinosaurs. Right. I just was so pissed. Then my grandma was a Jehovah's Witness, so I would go there and have to read all of those Bible scripts and everything like that, and then have another part of my family say like, well, she's crazy, don't listen to any of that. So that was my life in a nutshell.
Yeah, mine was not as like that. It was just like I remember it was like a point in like 6th grade where I was just sitting there and I was just like, all of this sounds like bullshit. I got to a point where I was just like, none of this makes any goddamn sense. I'm out. Like, I'm checking out at this point. Like, I'm done.
Well, mine was just a giant clusterfuck of confusion. I'm like, wait, so this part of the family, I can't celebrate Christmas, birthdays, or any holiday. This part of the family, we have a blast celebrating birthdays and Christmas. So it's kind of like, okay, let's pretend to be something on this side and something else on this side. And it just drove me nuts. And when I finally got out and into college and everything, I just found who I was, and I'm like, I'm done with all this religious nonsense.
Yeah, exactly. I think high school was mine. I was just like, I'm done. I don't want to do any of this anymore. Yeah, like, you guys can have it.
So when I went to college, I was actually attracted to religious history through art. So it was like religious art history, and that's when I found out a ton about especially Christian religion, but a lot of other ones. So that's probably when I formed a lot of my own opinions, is when I could escape the bubble of, not so much that people were pressuring me, it just I felt pressured, like I couldn't actually discover anything on my own.
I don't know if you've experienced this, but like with certain family members or people that I knew from sort of that world, they would know that I'm no longer religious, I have no affiliations, but they would still say shit like, pray for me, or pray for this person. And I'm like, what part of, like, I don't fucking do that do you not understand? Like, they still have to, like, say shit like that. Like,
yes.
They just kind of, like, just little pushes to be like, if you don't agree, you don't have to agree with me, but you should, still pray for me. And it's like, well, hold on.
Yeah, it's a weird thing. My one side, my mom's side of the family, they're nothing like that. Even though many of them are religious, they don't push it upon you. My dad's side of the family, they don't really do it either, but my grandma will. And if my grandma heard this podcast, she'd probably
disown you
and pray for me. So I should point this out too. I don't hate most Christians at all. I just hate the horrible religious people.
Right.
And I don't believe the horrible religious people are the ideal people behind these two VHSs. But later on in March, when we get close to Easter, we're going to get into that.
Yeah, no, I 100% agree with you. I have problems with religion, but I don't have any real problem with religious people if they're not pushing it on me.
Exactly.
If they're just living their life and they're happy with it, I would never talk shit about them. If that's what makes them happy and that's what gets them by in this crazy world, like, that's awesome. And I'm glad they have that. It's just not for me, so that's the shit I'm talking. I'm not talking shit about the people that like this stuff. That's fine. That's fine. If you push it on me, though, I'm going to be nasty.
Okay, let's come back with some behind the scenes of these two companies that made these brilliant videos.
From the hilarious Chef Eddie to the bouncy yellow school bus, Mother Goose Goes to School is an exciting adventure into the world of learning. Don't miss the fun. See Mother Goose Goes to School. Available at Christian bookstores everywhere.
All right, let's talk about VeggieTales and the Big Idea Company. I mean, they ran this for a long time.
Yeah, this business racket, if you will, they started in 93, and Big Idea is no longer around. VeggieTales got swallowed up by Comcast for DreamWorks Animation, DreamWorks Classics, so they have become part of a bigger corporation now, but they started in 93. And this video we watched is from 95, and they're still going today. They went from being straight to video, which I'm sure were sold in a lot of these Christian bookstores like this VeggieTales we're looking at now, to actually being on TV. But I will say the NBC, they cut out all the God stuff.
It looks like NBC took it over, 2004?
I think something like that, yeah.
Yeah, and then eventually it got bought up by Netflix, or at least it's running stuff on Netflix, and it went through for like 4 years on Netflix.
Yeah, VeggieTales in the House and VeggieTales in the City on Netflix since 2014. It says that those have the God stuff edited back in now.
Yeah, it's gone from Gotti to non-Gotti to Gotti again.
Yeah, and they've made 2 movies.
Yeah.
Jonah and The Pirates Who Don't Do Anything.
Yeah, they're one of my favorites.
2002, Jonah came out. In 2008, Pirates Who Don't Do Anything came out. I don't remember either of I remember the title, but I don't remember these being things, really. It says the first program that came out in 1993 in December was Where's God When I'm Scared?
He's the one scaring you.
Oh, that's a whole nother story we can get into. Yeah, it's quite the empire, I would even say, at this point. And we checked out the website. It's still there. You could buy the DVDs and the merchandise and things like that.
That's right. The VeggieTales official store.
VeggieTales.com.
And it is
just
bright.
gave them advertising. Please sponsor us. Yeah, you could buy toys and DVDs and things like that. And one of the DVDs that's like on the front page is the DVD version of Are You My Neighbor?
Yes,
Is available on DVD now, and it's on their
the
front
first
page.
row.
And there's also something called Pistachio, which I guess would have fallen in our Pinocchio.
We've got another Pinocchio to watch.
No, I don't want to watch any more Pinocchio things.
God commands you.
Yeah, if God wants me to, I guess I will.
Obey.
Obey. Put the sunglasses on.
Ready to go on to the company that made the Brentwood Kids Company?
Yeah, let's talk about Brentwood Kids now.
Here we go.
Look for these exciting live-action videos from the Brentwood Kids Company. Now available in stores everywhere. One of our most popular kids videos ever. Kids Sing Praise, Volume 3.
So we didn't find much on the Brentwood Kids Company. There's just not a lot out there on it.
Yeah, we didn't find much on the Brentwood Kids Company, but we saw that they have now turned into a new company called Brentwood Benson.
Yes. I found something earlier when I was first looking this up, but can't find it now for some reason, was Brentwood Kids Company went out of business. I don't know if they went belly up from just money, couldn't get any investors. Somewhere I thought I read they were sued. So if you guys find anything out there, let us know.
Yeah, and like I said, it seems like when we looked up Brentwood Kids Company and we were looking at through their website, and it seems like they've doubled down on the religion thing and not doing so much of the exercise things or fun tapes, because we found another one of their videos online called Wake Up Sleepyhead, which has like puppets in it. Terrible puppets, but puppets nonetheless. It doesn't seem like they're doing a lot of that now. It seemed like for kids, the only things they had were like books with music. Mm-hmm. Like, so you buy the book and the CD.
Yeah, they were much softer here in the 90s. They've gone a little harder with the religious tropes all in there. I mean, it was just straight up Jesus is all I need type titles. So they got stronger, they got harder, doubled down on the religion, like you said.
Yeah, because like looking at this tape, there's no evidence of religion except for the fact that it like mentions in the description that it's for Bible, but like you see the cover of some of these books and it's like crosses and Jesus and like very explicitly religious.
This one almost wanted to hide the fact that it was a Christian sing-along, and then you kind of discover it.
Right.
These other ones, like you said, the symbolism is right on the front.
Yeah,
they're
right in your
not
face.
Messing around. The only hiding they have is the title Brentwood Benson of the company.
Yeah. And that's just the name of where they're from, too, Brentwood, Tennessee. But everything is very, very religious now. There was, though, one person on Amazon who loved this.
I'm going to let you read this wonderful synopsis.
Naturally, this is a 5-star review. Which
Naturally.
I would give it as well, of course. But this person might be me, I don't know, but is Marty Ostendorf, who just said, "This is quite possibly the best video ever, period. I love it, period. The dad is so strong and handsome, period. Make it on DVD, exclamation point."
Wow, that person, I assume it's the wife?
He is strong and handsome, I guess. Wow.
Oh, yeah, it's great. I freaking love this movie.
Yes, if you come across this one in your thrift store, pick it up, put it fucking back on the shelf, and buy it again. Yes! Take as many times as you can to get Sing, Stretch, and Play in your house.
I don't believe in copying VHSs, but you need to copy these and give them next Christmas to all your family members.
Yes, it's like The Ring. Now you've seen it, and you've got 7 days to pass it on to as many people as you can and make as many copies as you can to spread the curse.
All right, we'll come back here and fill up our museum.
This is the second time I've had to reclaim my property from you.
That belongs in a museum.
So do you.
Every week we take something from what we've watched and we put something that either we can learn from in a museum or something that's just solid gold that we want to put in the museum. And since this tape, Sing, Stretch, and Play in particularly, is made of gold. It's made of gold. It's literally glistening with gold. The one thing I just have to put in there is I'm putting Hallelujah in there because you're watching this normal kind of 4 kids exercise tape, and then it violently shoots you into Christiness, like with Hallelujah. When that song starts playing and they all start dancing in circles, like holding each other's hands, and it's like straight out of like a Charles Manson cult, I was in. I was like, please give me more of this.
My Museum is also another song, and it's the greatest song ever written. Who is the king? Play it for us.
Who's the king of the jungle? Jesus! That's right! Jesus is the king of the jungle! All right!
Who is the king of the jungle? Who is the king of the sea? Who is the king of the universe? And who's the king of me? I tell you, J-E-S-U-S. Yes, he is the king of me. He is the king of the universe, the jungle and the sea.
God, I love that song.
It's so good. It makes me want to believe in Jesus. So next week, we've got a surprise for you. It'll be a newer movie for our mini episode. So definitely come check that out. It's going to be a lot of fun.
Yeah, that's
whatever
right.
it is. All right, I think that's it for this week. We are done bombarding you with our hatred, or I'm done being venomous. We are good. We had a lot of fun with these. Thanks for tuning in.
VHSs. So remember, kids,
God made you special, and He loves you very much.